What is happening, everybody? Welcome to a big time episode of the TPT podcast. It is a Super Bowl Tuesday podcast. Guys, your Kansas City Chiefs are Super Bowl champion. Zach, how you feeling? We couldn't really get an episode done yesterday after the Super Bowl, but now you've had 2 whole days to kind of soak it all in. How you feeling about your Kansas City Chiefs being the champs, baby, again?
I'm telling you, this is the best one yet. And I said that last year. Obviously, the first carries a lot of importance, but
right,
when you just prove that you would just do this, there's no better feeling. Getting 3 in 5 years is devious. No one else does this.
It's like a weird, I feel like the first one, obviously, you kind of soak it in the most. You're kind of the whole week, you're probably watching, I probably watched the most recaps, the most replays. And I haven't really done that yet. And I usually do come in the middle of the summer, closer to the summer. I'm like, oh, I miss football. So then that's when I kind of will go back and I'll watch all the Super Bowl replays when all those come out. Usually this next week, you'll have America's team come out. You have all those little clips, and NFL Network does all those little clips from the Super Bowl. And I just haven't watched some of them yet, because it's a weird feeling where it's just you were confident, but you were also at the same time, you were like, oh my God, we're the champs. We're literally we're Super Bowl champs. So that's where it's just but not just, okay, yeah, we won in 2019. We got the monkey off our back. We won one, but we're a dynasty. We won 3. We've won 3 out of 4 years? 3 out of 5 years? It's weird. I remember growing up watching the Patriots do this, and then now it's wait, no, we're that team now. It's just weird.
Yeah, it's so weird, because I remember I didn't watch the Super Bowl after we had lost to New England. That Rams,
right? That was
Patriots
horrible. I barely watched that one.
I didn't watch it. It was snowy in Kansas City. It was snowing, and so I just went and sledded all day. And then I got home and checked my phone. It was oh, the Patriots won another Super Bowl. That's what it's like for people nowadays with the Chiefs. Oh yeah, they just won another Super Bowl. Some light, some slight. The feeling after that win was just insane. And I didn't even listen, Jaden. I didn't even see the game-winning catch.
Really?
I didn't even see it. Okay, so we were having a little party at my house. So there was a TV in the basement going, there's a TV in the dining room going, and a TV in the living room going. And I was in the dining room, just walking to the living room, and then everyone started screaming, and I'm like, okay, I guess we won. So then I just started jumping up and down. I didn't even see it.
Dang. Yeah. I mean, so I didn't realize that if they didn't, if it would have, say he throws in a completion there, that wouldn't have been game. I didn't realize.
I thought the same thing. Because I was walking the living room, because I was why aren't we calling a timeout? I was going to.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was 5, 4, 3. I'm like, what are we doing? And then the next day they're like, oh, that wouldn't have been game. I don't know why they're keeping the clock. And I'm like, wait, what? If the clock would have ran out, and they're like, no, you just have to get a stop. It has to be turnover on downs. I'm like, wait, what? And they're like, yeah. So if the clock would have ran out there, it would have went to double overtime. I'm like,
I thought Andy was just off a beam. Yeah, I'm gonna just one play. If we get it,
yeah,
we win. If we don't, we lose.
That's what I thought. I'm like, maybe he's either because obviously when he caught the ball, it was 3 seconds. So I'm like, oh, maybe he's thinking, because was it second down or third? I'm pretty sure it was second.
It was first, right? Because Kelsey
maybe first. Yeah, Kelsey just got it. You're right.
Yeah.
So it was first down. So again, they would have had still 3 other downs to score a touchdown. So that's why I was like, wait. Well, I'm like, oh my God, why are they? And my brother was like, no, he's gonna wait till the last second. I'm like, but the clock. I said, I don't know why in this overtime they have a clock. That doesn't make sense to me.
And that's kind of on CBS. That's kind of because CBS put OT. Typically, OT makes sense. OT, double OT, or second OT, 3 OT. Mm-hmm. But if the score is not tied and it still goes to another period, they should indicate that on the scoreboard somehow instead of just saying OT. You know what I'm saying?
I just, because college, it just says overtime. It just says overtime 1, overtime 2. They don't obviously put the clock on there because there's no point of they put the play clock. That's it. They don't put the game. There's no point of putting a game clock. So for me, I'm thinking if they don't get it here, that's it. That's game. I wish, and this is what's funny is people are having a problem with this overtime. I'm like I had people on TikTok Live and numerous other people going, they had to change the overtime rules for the Chiefs. I'm like, no, they changed the overtime rules because of the Chiefs.
You need to get off
Because
TikTok. That's
I
what
know.
I'm getting.
I think that's it. We're going live over here on TikTok, but we got a lot of people who just really need to remember what happened. It was the Bills who were complaining about it. And I personally like this overtime. I'm like, give both teams a chance. I think the regular season needs to go to this. That's my opinion. I think in the regular season, I know again, it may, stats wise, it may, you may have a game where someone has in 5 of those things and then their stats go crazy. Or the money line of like gambling, but like to me, I think I would love if the regular season went to this because you wouldn't have ties. Like ties are just to me just kind of.
I like ties. They're so weird. They're so weird and mess everything up.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. That's why it's like in college they're like, shoot, we would have ties all the time, so we have to have overtime. But yeah, I thought it was and here's another thing I wanted to kind of ask you was how did you feel about the game? Was it like, are you like other people where you're kind of like snooze fest until the second half, or are you like, I thought it was a great game overall?
Oh, looking back, it was a great game because even when it seemed like nothing was happening, there were big plays, fumbles, huge passes, like the trick play that the Niners had. So even though that first half was just like 10-3 or whatever, 13-3, was that the score?
13-3. Yeah, they were up by 10 at one point.
Okay, 13-3.
10-0, may have been 10-0, but I think it was 13-3. Yeah.
Yeah, even through that, I mean, I was stressed out, but looking back, I mean, it wasn't the worst half ever. It's just the second half was arguably one of the greatest halves football's ever seen. And where this game ranks in terms of Super Bowls, it is up there. It is up there because if you think about it, it's only the second overtime Super Bowl. That first one
was
legacy-wise was cool, but it wasn't that back and forth. It was like, okay, one team dominates and then the other team dominates.
Yeah, that was it. Like literally, I think they ran like 3 plays and that was game.
Yeah, that was very anticlimactic.
Yeah, so it went into overtime. But again, I think like Gronk caught a big pass and then they ran it, and then James White, boom, ran it in. It was like it was quick, and obviously the other team didn't get a chance to get the ball. But guys, listen, if you're over here on TikTok and you want to ask any questions, go over to the YouTube in the bio. Head over here. Me and Zach are live on YouTube. You can ask us any questions. We know we have some questions over here, but just head over to YouTube and we'll answer all your questions. If you guys got Super Bowl questions. Again, Corey, if you have any questions, head over to YouTube real quick. Head over to YouTube. We'll answer any of your questions. But another thing I wanted to ask you, why did Kyle Shanahan, do you believe these players actually were unaware of the overtime rules? And why did Kyle Shanahan want the ball?
I honestly think they were. Now, you've seen 49ers players say that they didn't know, but then you would assume that the coaches know. But,
yeah,
I mean, you really it's really hard to tell because, I mean, a good coach would do their due diligence and go through any possible scenario and know what they want to do if anything's thrown their way. But the way Fred Warner was just like, we want to receive just like it's a regular overtime game, that I don't know. I mean, no one knows whether Kyle Shanahan really thought about that or not. Maybe he thought about it and wasn't smart enough to realize that the Chiefs can go for it on 4th down every play if they know what they need to get. So
yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why he thought that was a good idea to do that. I just don't. I don't know why he thought. I think he said because he wanted the ball 3rd. I'm like, yeah, but if you get it and you don't score, like then you're really done. They can go get the ball and they can go for it on 4th down all they want. So I just thought that was funky, and it kind of sucked because his players were. I don't think they were doing it intentionally, but they were kind of throwing him underneath the bus, being like, "Yeah, we had no idea," and it's like, "Oh no, like stop talking, like because you're only making yourself look bad." And it's not like these rules changed this year; they changed 2 years ago, after the 2021 playoffs. So they changed immediately after the 2021 playoffs, and they've been around in 2022 and all of this year in the playoffs. So. And even the Chiefs said we went over it with all week in practice. The last 2 weeks were like, or the whole playoffs. If we get the ball and we get the ball even first, we score. We're going for 2. They said that if we get the ball, we score, we're going for 2. That's going to be one of our scenarios. But if we get the coin toss, we will defer. We will defer. So they were kind of like prepared. They were like, oh no, we knew that if this was a scenario, we had to be ready for it. And then it's like, is that just really what makes Andy Reid great? Is he kind of just eliminates those errors, eliminates those problems. And I think that's really what this game kind of came down to, in my opinion, is in the second half, I was watching the game, and I was not nervous then. At this point, I did get nervous at the end of the game. My family members can tell you I started to get nervous but I would say for 90% of the game, I was really Joe Cool. I was calm as a cucumber. But I think it really just came down to when we went into the halftime, I said, we have Andy Reid, we have Steve Spagnuolo. Y'all don't.
Yep.
Like, you can be like, whatever, Jaden. But it's like, that's really what my mindset was.
Spags completely just did exactly what we thought he was going to do.
Oh, 100%.
He blitzed Purdy on over 60% of his pass attempts, which no team had done close to that in the regular season because Purdy typically tore up the blitz because other teams can't guard Ayuk, Kittle, Debo, and McCaffrey man-to-man with only 1 or 0 guys helping. And so the fact that we're able to do that and send a blitz, it was ridiculous how different we played them than every other team does. And also one more thing about the overtime. I feel like there's going to become some sort of way where you play the overtime. If it's a defensive game and you win the toss, you want to get that ball second. You want it second if it's a defensive game. If it's an offensive game, you want that ball first because y'all can both go score a touchdown, and then you have the ball first in sudden death. So that's how I would play it.
Correct. So the only way I am receiving the ball is if my defense had not been out there a lot and we're playing great defensively and it's who we're playing against. Okay, if we would have received the ball, would you be totally concerned because the way they were able to limit Brock Purdy in the second half? No, because again, I confidence in the Chiefs defense. I think the Chiefs defense is better than the 49ers defense. So I think they're going to get a stop once you get a stop because they got the ball first, right? And I was like, hey, if we get a stop here, all we got to do is get a field goal. Game. Boom. All we got to do is get a field goal, and that's game. They didn't get the stop. They held them to a field goal. So I think that was what's huge. If they would have Chiefs would have just got to stop there, they would have been sitting there, and all they would have had to do is just go kick a field goal. But hey, the 49ers, they're living the 49ers do a field goal, and they went down. They got a touchdown. But it is crazy to me how the 49ers were not aware of that. I didn't understand how they sat there and we had no idea about the overtime rules. That's just, to me, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Real quick, can you hear yourself at all?
No, I cannot. It's not echoing for me. Is it echoing for you?
No, it's not for me. It's just my headset died, so I want to make sure that it can come out of the monitor and be fine.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. Some other things in this game I kind of want to, talk about is what was the turning point? What was you're like, here we go, because Patrick Mahomes, obviously Patrick Mahomes on his last drive, 8 for 8, 69 yards on a touchdown. No one has ever done that to cap off a game in the playoffs. In NFL history, no one has went perfect. No one's 5 for 5, 8 for 8, 4 for 4. No one's ever done that before. There's so many stats that come out of this game for Mahomes. But what was the turning point where you were just like, here we go? Because I know what it was for me.
We had the same one, right? Because it's the muff punt, right?
It's the muff punt. It's got to be the muff punt.
Because despite our defense balling out the entire second half, even before the muff punt, 3 and outs to start the second half for the 49ers, we still weren't getting it cooking on offense. We got one field goal, I believe, to cut it to 6-10, right?
Right.
And then we hit it. We got a touchdown, went up 13-10. That muff punt changed everything. And that's some of the stuff you got to get to win Super Bowls this consistently. Like against the Patriots, when we lost in the AFC Championship, a bunch of stuff didn't go our way. Earlier in that first Super Bowl run, luckily we were just by far the best team that first Super Bowl run because everything did not go our way, especially in those first couple games.
First half, yeah.
And we were still able to pull it out. And so that's just something you need. And that completely, especially on that first play, we didn't struggle to get it in. If we had just got a field goal there, the momentum is not shifting too much. But the fact that first play of the drive, wide open MVS, and then my whole party started chanting MVS, and that was dope because it's good to see a redemption. I mean, he's been clutch. He's played how many playoff games with us? Has it been 7?
7. Yep.
He's been an integral. He's made big plays in probably 6 of them.
Probably, yeah. So he's probably scored in 4 of them, 5 of them,
something like that.
4 of them, and then has had. He ended the game versus the Ravens, which he could have scored on that if he wanted to, but he ended the game versus the Ravens, and then he scored in I think 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah,
I know versus the Bengals he had 2 touchdowns.
The only games that he really hasn't done much is the Super Bowl last year and then against the Dolphins this year, but he still had 2 big first downs in that game. And so he's just – it's sad because that's his last game with us, and it's going to save me some years having to watch that dude in the regular season.
Yeah.
But, hey, he was definitely worth it. Just like Kadarius Toney was worth it just for those punt returns last year. So
yeah. Again, even Kadarius Toney, he had some type of value. We can say what we want about him, and he won't be on the team this upcoming season. But hey, he served his purpose. He had that kick return or that punt return, whatever it was, to get us to the 5-yard line that set up the first corn dog or second corn dog. And look how we won this game. We're gonna get into corn dogs because I do love me some corn dogs. We're gonna get into that at the end. But it's got to be the punt. And I feel like everyone's like that block kick, and it was so weird. So we were sitting there watching it with my family and friends, and I go, he's going to miss the field goal. I told my dad, I said, watch him miss it. He's going to miss it. And because let's be honest, Jake Moody's not the best kicker. Sorry, Jake. But I go, watch him miss it. He's just going to miss it crossbar. And then all of a sudden, block. I was like, oh, my God, that's huge. Humongous. I'm like, yes. Because I'm going to be honest, like, that obviously is a big one. I still think the Chiefs kind of won. But because it's for some reason when the Chiefs get in that kind of hurry up, like we have to score mode, it's like they just snap out of it and they just start slinging it around. But I still think they would have won the game. But now you don't have that pressure where they're like, okay, we have the I'm going to be honest, probably the best kicker this season for sure. It may not be Justin Tucker, but probably the best, I would say the most valuable kicker. If you know what I mean? Like he's had the most valuable kicks in the NFL the last 5 years. The most valuable kicker. So they're like, okay, there you go. Jake Moody, nice little record you got there. Let me just smash that real quick.
Yeah.
So
and Moody, honestly, like when I saw on that probably their second to last drive. No, their game, the go ahead field goal right before the end of regulation for the Niners. When I saw that he was kicking from 52,
right,
I was like, we're good. I thought he was gonna no way he makes 52 and 55 against us in the Super Bowl. But hey, he was nails on that. So
I did too. I was like, there's no way he makes this 52. But he made it. I was like, oh damn, because again, he has struggled. He's struggled during the regular season. But I mean the block, Leo Chanel, that should be talked about too. But I really feel like the muff punt is the one that is not being talked about. So it's like that was it. Once they got, because did they score off that or was it
Yeah, we got that.
Yeah, MVS, the little lob pass to MVS. Yeah, so they had the lob pass off of MVS, and I'm like that was the turning point in the game. What's up, TikTok? I see some people commenting. Yes, the TBT podcast. Head over to YouTube. If you want me to answer your question, Adrian, just head over to YouTube. We've still got a couple more minutes over here with my co-host Zach. We're over here talking about the Chiefs. We're going to be talking about a little bit of other things. Some up-and-coming teams that may contend, may try. We're going to say try because, guys, it could be even brighter.
When we're there. Tight.
It could be even brighter in Kansas City this next season. So we're going to talk about try to beat these Chiefs for a 3-peat. But yeah, head over to YouTube, guys. YouTube, we're waiting for you guys over here. We're gonna be on here just a little bit longer. But yeah, head over here. But is it crazy thing I kind of wanted to get into as I adjust my camera. Is it crazy to sit there and go, yeah, this team can 3-peat? Like this team should be favored to 3-peat.
Absolutely not. And I think in at least one of the next couple pods, we got to go over our ideal offseason and what each of us think we should do with what Brett Veach should do this offseason. What I'm thinking is just like as a little, preview, I want to keep Jones at least another year. Maybe not extend him because but tag the man and then extend Snead. That's what we got to do.
Extend Snead, correct. I would, and a lot of people are like, I don't think they can re-sign these guys. God, there's always ways you can flex money. I mean, honestly, so if they do that option, they extend Snead, tag one of them. So it doesn't matter. You tag either one of them. That's 20 mil. And then you're paying the other one probably 25 to 23. Like, we're not going to pay him 30 mil. Like, we can't pay him 30 mil a year. So say, one of them, you tag one of them 20 mil a year. The other one, you pay, 25 to $20 million a year. Mahomes, you can always restructure his contract. That's you're freeing up 20 to $30 million right there. There's some other guys you may have to lose. Willie Gay. I think you got to bring back Drew. I think you got to bring back Drew. But I don't know, and a lot of Chiefs fans may not want to hear this. We got some questions over here about the free agent. Miles, if you want to ask the questions, go over to YouTube. We're literally talking about that. Some of the Chiefs options. Go to the YouTube link in bio, guys. Link in bio. But so they're the youngest defense in the league. They're the youngest defense in the NFL. They have the youngest starting defense in the NFL. And then, of course, if you bring if you tell me they run it back, they're able to re-sign their guys and bring in, because I think if you re-sign your guys, you're not going to be able to go get a Mike Evans. You're not going to be able to go get a Mike Evans. If they did, I don't even think they'd be able to bring in a guy like T. Higgins. That would still be like a shocker to me. I think they're just going to bring in like a Calvin Ridley type guys. They'll bring in 3 or 4 of those guys, two or 3 of those guys, which, again, do we think Hardman will be back on the Chiefs?
Even if he's back, he's not a guy.
Even if he's back, he'll be probably 5th to 6th receiver. Correct.
Yeah. And the way I'm looking at it,
right? He'll be a special teams guy. He'll probably swap with Richie James and be in that kick returner. Okay. Do we think Kadarius Toney's going to be back?
I do.
I don't. I think that bridge is burnt. I think that bridge is burnt after the whole Instagram fiasco.
Yeah, he's silly. I mean, if there's a reason he's gone, it's for that. If he had not done that, we would have used this offseason as the way to try to restart this whole process where we get him into positions to succeed and just keep working on his deficiencies as a football player. But it's like the reward for keeping him and hopefully it working out, and if it doesn't, we just get rid of him, is a lot higher than just getting rid of him. But it really depends on how it is in the locker room. Is his relationship with Pat and Andy severed because of how he acts and the Instagram Live and all that? But I'm just thinking like punt return guy, gadget guy who has good potential at receiver too. If he can clean up silly errors, I just don't like the idea of just getting rid of him right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would love, again, if he had an attitude like McCall Hardman, I would 100% keep him. I just think if they do keep a gadget guy like Mahomes, and you go like, especially with a chemistry, Mahomes is a big chemistry guy. Like, they're going to be like, all right, so you either got McCall Hardman, who's been with you since almost your rookie year, or you're going to have Kadarius Toney, who's talking about sucking, your blankety blank on Instagram to the Kansas City Chiefs. So
he said that?
Yeah, he went.
He's cooked. He's cooked. I didn't see the Instagram Live straight up.
He said that they can, because he said, I'm not injured. They're keeping me out, and I'm not even injured. They can suck my blanket.
Well, you're sorry. You're not injured, but you're sorry, and that's
So that's what I think. I'm like, that bridge is burnt. That bridge is burnt. Yeah, and we all knew after that Bills game, or was it the Bills game? Yeah, after the Bills game, he wasn't hurt. He was never hurt. They were just like, yeah, you go over there in the corner. You're in timeout. Which was fine because, again, we had MVS step up. So, yeah, again, MVS is going to be gone. The only ones I really think are 100% they're going to keep is Sky Moore just because of his age, and he was a second-round pick, and then Rice. Yeah. I think they're going to keep those 2 guys for sure. And you're going to have probably 4 to 5 other new receivers. So you're telling me you already had just a Super Bowl, and then you're upgrading your receiving core. Like, that's going to be crazy. Your leading receiver in the Super Bowl may not even be on the team in McCall Hardman. He was your leading receiver. Justin Watson probably won't be back on the team. So we had someone ask just now, Justin Watson. Yeah, Justin Watson probably won't even be back. If he does, he's going to be a roster filler. He'll be a roster filler. But, again, they're like – I think that what they're going to do is they're going to bring in a lot of just mid-level guys, your Curtis Samuels, your Calvin Ridley type guys. That's an upgrade. As crazy as it sounds, like their offense is going to be better. I can guarantee you this. Their offense is going to be better this season, and they just won a Super Bowl. They were the 7th ranked offense. 7th. So I think it's going to be back in the top 3. That's how dangerous and how scary the NFL should be, is going, oh, wait, we just lost and we just blew it when the Chiefs were down. Like they were down. They literally had the little pontoon boat, and now they got the warship. Like now this offseason, they have an opportunity to have a warship. You let Brett Veach now know what he needs. That's what I think is really dangerous. So that's why I wanted to, really just ask you, like, I really do think they can three-peat. There's 2 things that has to happen, and I want your opinion on this. Is they just have to, if these 2 things happen, they stay healthy, because that's what it really comes down to, because you've been playing deep into February the last 2 years. Stay healthy, and you bring your guys back. You stay healthy, you bring your guys back. I think they'll be right back in there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even if they do decide to part ways with Chris Jones, it'll probably help us, patch up some other places.
Right.
And it's not like our first 2 Super Bowl teams had Chris Jones and they're still bad defenses. Or mediocre. So it's like where our secondaries at in our linebacking core, even if we come back next year and our pass rush is not the same without Chris Jones, if we were to get rid of him.
So got George.
There's still a way where we have a good enough defense with our offense to win the Super Bowl. So
yeah. So again, this was a top. Like, let's be honest, this could have been. If you look at it, this was maybe the best defense in the NFL. Like
it was.
They
proved in the playoffs.
They held teams at 13 points a game in the postseason.
It proved in the playoffs that Baltimore's and Cleveland's are not close. Like we were top 3 with Baltimore and Cleveland throughout the regular season, but then look what we did to all the elite offenses. We just went up against 4 elite offenses. We went up against the 4 best offenses in the NFL.
They went against 2, 3, 4. And then wait, so they played how many? Yeah, they played what?
One is San Francisco. One is San Francisco, right?
San Francisco, I think, is what was San Francisco ranked?
I know they were
what?
Maybe not. Yeah, San Francisco's 1.
1. Okay, so they played. What was it? 1? I know they played 1, 2, 3, and then like 7. 1, 2, 3, and 7.
Was Buffalo like 7?
7. Yeah, Buffalo was 7. So they played 1, 2, 3, and 7. Like I didn't get the people before the game who was like, who is Kansas City defense played against? I'm like,
everyone.
2, 3, and 7, and then they just beat 1. So I'm like, they played a team that knew how to run the ball. They played a team that knew how to pass the ball. And they played a team that knew how to do both. Like, look what they literally played Miami. That was like started off one of the best seasons statistically in NFL history, just putting up points. And then they go play Buffalo, who at the end of the season was just putting up crazy amount of points. I don't. And again, if someone told me, yeah, they take a step back, so they're the 4th or 5th best defense in the league.
If we keep our guys, we're not taking a step back. If we keep
I'm
our guys,
okay with that. I'm okay with that.
I listen to this. We have the best defense in the league, who is also the youngest defense in the league. If we keep our guys, we might have a historic defense next year. Like if our offense improves in the slight least, there's no way we should lose.
And it will. It will. Again, it will. Like their receiving core is going to have an overhaul. We know Brett Veach is going to do that. So that's what just makes this like so crazy, Zach, is they had the Chiefs when they were down. This was their and I don't want to sound like, oh, well, you guys are just being so cocky. No. This was a down year, and we still got you. We still are back to back. Like, this was the worst Chiefs team we've seen. Obviously, it's the best defense we've seen for the Chiefs.
No, at this point, Jaden, they just won the playoffs, 2 games on the road, 4 games in total. I don't think we can still say this is the worst team. I mean, this statistically is better than probably every team except for 2019. You're underrating.
Offense was unreal.
No, yeah, you said what? What's offense was unreal?
Like last year's offense was unreal.
It was, but this defense.
Yeah, I know this defense is really freaking good.
If the two teams were to play each other this year and last year,
and that's what people should be so scared about. This is the youngest defense in the league. Yeah, say they lose Chris Jones. I don't think they're going to lose both. I don't think they're going to lose Snead and Chris Jones. Say they lose Chris Jones. You saw George Karlaftis, who had 4 sacks in the playoffs?
Did he? Hey,
I think he had 4. I think he had 2 versus Miami.
George.
George. He had 16 sacks overall. Okay, you still got George. You can bring back a menu. There's other guys you can bring in.
Oh, Minhu, we got him. He's locked down. He just has to recover. Prayers up.
Yeah,
Prayers up
right.
for Minhu.
That's what people should be so worried about is like crap. Like now the Chiefs know what they have to do on offense to get better. And like we did everything we could. They were on the road. They didn't have the offense. They didn't have the weapons. They didn't have that speedster. They didn't have any of it. And guess what? At the end of the day, we're hosting another Lombardi going for number 3. As we kind of wrap it up here, guys, make sure you guys, if you're some of you guys have been watching on TikTok, make sure you guys go subscribe to the YouTube. We're going to have a lot of NFL content this offseason. We're really going to try to get some more people on here. It's been kind of funky with me with some of my medical stuff, getting people on here and kind of getting some episodes out regularly. But we're going to go to once a week now during the offseason. But again, we still got the draft, guys. We still got free agency. That's literally, a month away? Not even, maybe 3 weeks away in April. So we got free agency that comes up. The new league year comes like that. Okay, free agency is going to come up. The Kansas City Chiefs got to see what they're going to get. We're going to really get into other people's teams too. What other people who they need to sign, who they need to bring in. Some other teams and what's going to go on in the NFL draft. Zach, any last words as we just are going to be celebrating all off season long? Because guess what? For a whole nother year, we're the freaking champions, baby.
Hey, enjoy the parade, everyone that's from KC or is traveling in.
You guys
I'll be there. I'll be there at least for a little. I'm getting so used to it that it's nothing like crazy anymore. We had the Royals parade and then 2 Chiefs parades. So this is just like a daily routine for me. So I'll pop in. I'll make an appearance.
Yeah, we may have to get some content from the parade.
Yeah, for sure. And so everyone just enjoy watching all the media people talk about us for the next 2 weeks until they inevitably move to the draft. And I'm already thinking it's crazy, but I'm already thinking about next season because I'm thinking about how much better we can be.
Yeah.
And how we really there is a path to a 3-peat that is like clear eye view type. So
again, let's remember this is, and I have a feeling this upcoming season is going to be where we get the first seed. We'll be 1 game away from the AFC Championship game. Like this will be where they go back to kind of the 14 win, 12 win, or 13 to 14 win season type thing. Because again, the Chiefs now know what they need, and then that's receiver. And again, there's going to be people that want a piece of the pie. Mike Evans could be a guy who's like, I want another ring. Like if I go to the Chiefs and I take, like, there's going to be some guys who are kind of looking at this, and Chris Jones could be one of them. That's like, I'm going to take a little team-friendly deal. Like, I want a 3-peat, man. And you heard Travis Kelce talking about it before they even won the second one. He's or technically his third one. He said, I want a 3-peat. He said that to Jim Nantz, I want a 3-peat. He's like, you haven't even won your third one yet. You got to win your third one before you can go win your fourth one. Like, these guys seem so locked in right now. And like literally Mahomes, I don't think it's often where you see right away. Usually you see them at the parade. They're like, I guarantee everybody we're going to win. We're going to win back to back, or we're going to go win another one. Everyone always says that during like the parade or whatever. But like immediately, like they're getting handed the trophy. Like, yeah, we just want to, celebrate this, and then we're going to be back. It's like, bro, like y'all didn't even like touch the trophy yet.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't even had like the ceremony yet, the parade yet. So I think this is a very just team. Again, they are locked in. They're like this is for real. Them wanting to 3-peat. Like they want to break NFL history.
Yeah, this is we're on Chicago Bulls time in, which is crazy.
And it is. We are. Like we've never seen. Again, you had the Patriots dynasty. You've had this like. But again, you have not, like, this is that era. It's that Bulls type era.
Yep. After this, Mahomes he's going to go retire for a couple years, but then we're going to go do it again. So
and we're going to get into this more in the offseason because I don't usually like to do this, but I'm going to tell you this, guys, a little sneak peek for what we're going to be talking about this offseason. Patrick Mahomes wins 3 in a row. Thomas Patrick Edward Brady Jr. Skirt. I don't care if he has 7.
Get out the way.
I don't care if he played till he was 45. If Patrick Mahomes wins 3 titles in a row in the National Football League, he is the greatest quarterback to ever step on an NFL
The
field.
greatest quarterback.
Period. And we're going to get into that more often. But again, guys, if he wins 3 in a row, there's nothing more you can say. You know how hard it is to win back-to-back in the NFL? I know Brady did it, but if he wins 3 in a row, go. Greatest of all time. I already think he's like he doesn't have the accolades-wise. He's not the GOAT. But he's going to be up there. We're going to talk about him more. We're not going to get too deep into it because we know there's a lot. We already know Kelsey's the GOAT. Y'all can get into the whole Gronk thing. Yeah. But yeah, hell no, Mahomes coming for Brady. I don't even know what that means. It sounds like you're green, but you're not a green. I don't know what that means. But we're going to get off here, guys. I don't know what he said. Hell no. Mahomes
Oh, yeah, Brady. No. Mahomes.
I think he means that's a good thing. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. But again, guys, we're going back to once a week. So we'll probably be live every Friday. We'll be having a live episode. But yeah, we're going to be back. We're going to be getting a lot of NFL stuff, a lot of draft stuff. All right, guys. We will see you guys next time. Yeah, any last words, though, Zach?
You already asked me. I already did. Gave him.
You got it out. You got it out. We're champs. We're champs. We'll see you guys next time on the TBT podcast.